our most respectful chairperson of the Jevada Gora Atheist Center, Thiru, Dr. Samaram, and the dynamic youngster who is the great action-oriented youth of our generation, Mr. Vikas Gora and Dan Parker, and other important VIPs, dignitaries, on the dais, off the dais, my dear brothers and sisters. Vanakkam to everybody. Namaste. This is a very great occasion for all of us to express our deep sense of regret, heartfelt condolences for the bereavement of this Gora Center, Mr. Arjun Rao, who was the staunch follower of the atheistic principles, and he was the pioneer in accepting the principle to be translated into action, a cashless society, by being a married intercaste couple. He is, of course, he lived a full life, and it is only satisfaction is that he lived a full life. The atheist can and will lead a full life. He is a great monumental example. Let us all condole his death, and we will offer our consolation to Madam Manorama and all the bereaved families. On behalf of Dravida Kazhagam, on behalf of the people who are elsewhere, really mourning that. On hearing that sad news, we have already sent a condolence message. In spite of it, this is a great occasion for all of us to pay him our respectful and hero's respects. My dear friends, brothers and sisters, today I express my inability to participate personally here and have the pleasure of meeting each and every delegates here and exchanging our thoughtful ideas so that we could build a staunch movement throughout India. Our Gora Center is the very motivating force which very dynamically they are organizing every now and then the conferences. And also we remember Dr. Lavanam, Dr. Vijayam and others for their human service. With their spirit, their enthusiasm is always to be remembered. But for their work, we would not have what we are enjoying today and we are organizing. The foundation was laid by them. Let us all remember and pay our respects also to them. And this is an occasion to remember our founder, our Gora Garu. Gora Garu was a very committed person. And you know, this Periyar self-respect movement was started in 1925. He was then a lecturer and he was a student and later on converted as a lecturer, all these things when he was there. And he wrote an article about the concept of God denying the God denial. For that, he was penalized. An action was taken. And subsequently, his ideas about the atheism was also condemned. Then he threw his gauntlet and he never bothered about the officers, profits of the officers. Then he came and accept whether am I to principle between the chilla and charybits, between the post and the principles. He preferred only principles. He sacrificed his life. And for that, our Madam Saraswati Gora was a very strong pillar of strength. Offered her through thick and thin. She stood by him. He too, they never aspired for very, very comfortable life. They never aspired for the well-settled life, enjoying the luxuries of life and all these things. But they sacrificed everything for the principles. They are the freedom fighters one time. More than that, that is a political aspect. Politically, it may be welcomed by many people, but they took a very socially, a very strong stand, which most of our people who are just a gullible mass, they don't support us on this front. That is the denial of God. And the atheism principle is very important, and he explained it. He was dare enough to go each and every corner of the country and tell this is the only way out. This is not a negative concept. This is a positive concept. That is why he has written a beautiful book explaining his philosophy of positive atheism. Throughout his life, he is concerned more about spreading that principle. Not only he did spread the principles, he lived by that. Not only he lived by that, the whole of the family members. If we come and see the place Atheist Center at Vijayawada, even the fourth or fifth generation people, they are adopting their following Gora and Madam Saraswati Gora. This family is an exemplary family. And they have spread their wings throughout the world. Internationally, this is a very renowned and acknowledged center for the principles. Every 2 years or 3 years, they used to convene the international conferences, and the subjects are very important. The Dravida Kazhagam takes very pride and very thankful for associating themselves. And a few years back, we had good opportunity of meeting at Tamil Nadu also. And the next 2 years or 3 years, we will also be a place for convening this sort of conferences. And our work will have to go on because the caption, the title that you have chosen for this conference is very, very timely. The secular concept is already adumbrated in the Constitution of India. That gives us some kind of solace. But how far it is being translated into action, that is a $1 million question. That is very important. You see here, when compared to American Constitution, they are supposed to be the secular constitution. But now they have turned topsy-turvy. Every political leader, whether this party or that party, it's a bicameral party, more or less, there. And they used to say, God bless America. And in the trust, we believe in God, even in the currency notes. Fortunately, in our country, our constitution is returned, and the sovereignty never lies in God. We never left the sovereignty to God. Our sovereignty lies only in the people of India. That is why the preamble very clearly says, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. This is not only a republic, it is a democratic republic. Not only a democratic republic, this is a secular, democratic republic. Not only secular, democratic republic, but to crown of all a sovereign socialist. That is more important. But what happens today? That is a question. And even when the constitution makers, the founding fathers of the constitution, had an opportunity to discuss about this thing, very interesting aspect will have to be given. When they were discussing about this preamble, how the preamble should be there, they were discussing about this one. One important aspect is to be brought to this august audience. The debate on the preamble, I am quoting from the constitutional debates, Indian constitutional debate. The debate on the preamble unfolded a very interesting aspect. Late lamented Sri H.P. Kamath, a renowned socialist and a leading member of the Constituent Assembly, moved an amendment to the preamble to the effect that the first sentence of the preamble, as they suggested by them, in the name of God, we the people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign democratic republic and to secure no secularism. But Kamath wanted that the constitution should be consecrated to a solemnly dedication to God in the spirit of Gita. This was how it is. The amendment was supported by a few. This is history. This audience should know about it. The amendment was supported by a few and opposed by many. Sri M. Thirumal Rao, he is from this state, Andhra state, then undivided Andhra state. Thirumal Rao, opposing the amendment, had pleaded, God should not be subject to the vote of the house. The God should not be subject to the vote of the house. Pandit H.N. Gunsru, while opposing the amendment, said that the sacred feeling should not have been brought into any array of discussion. The proposed amendment was inconsistent with the preamble, with the promises, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship to everyone. Thereafter, Sri Kamath pressed for a vote. This is very important information. Mr. Kamath pressed for a vote, and the amendment was negatived by 41 against 68. Reflecting this, Sri Kamath said, the Friday is a black day in our annals. God save India. See, whether God is saving India or not, the question of very debatable point. But how this was there? So we will have to thank Baba Sahib, Dr. Ambedkar, who was a great revolutionary. He also swam against the current when he was a chairman of the Constituent Assembly drafting committee of the Constitution. So, this is the history of the secularism, how they were able to. But now they have turned topsy-turvy. And they go and build the Ram temple. The Prime Minister lays the foundation. Very secularism. Social inaction, we can tolerate it. But it is quite contra. That is more important. And everywhere. And whenever there is any new projects, that is only a puja, offering this and that. But at the same time, the offering, of course, I don't want, this is not a forum for discussing politics. This is not a political discussion. This is purely about the subject. When we take it, they say, here people are telling, no, we will build the 2024, before the election, the Ram temple. We let them do it and all these things. It is their concern. But what about the roti? Roti. What about the employment? People have studied, and there is an army of unemployment people. What is the answer for that? Let me tell one example from Tamil Nadu. The Sethu Samudra project, which will give thousands of employment jobs and opportunities, was completely stopped by the Supreme Court of India. More than 2,000 crores have spent. Only 23 kilometers to be completed. If that is done, we will be saving 400 miles route when we are taking the tournament. This will be another big major event after building the Suez Canal, Panama Canal, Suez Canal, and all these things. But it was stopped on that what account? Because Adams Bridge is there, which is built by Ram. And it is called Sedu Canal, Ram Setu. But now recently, one of the union ministers, in answering the query in the parliament, they said there is no authority, there is no proper evidence to say whether it is built by Ram or the, but the whole project was shelved. Public money, 2,000 crores have been thrown into that. Even now it is not there. Because the courts, even the courts, because very rightly you have given the topic is action, social action. What is the social action? So I have given this small thing, for example. We are, instead of we are discussing abstract principle, let us face the reality. So it is the bounden duty of us concretely how the concept affects our day-to-day life. How to get more bread, how to get more employment opportunities. For all these things, the superstition still is there. And when the divine superstition is there imposed on us, automatically, even the so-called educated illiterates, they nod their heads. They don't have the guts to oppose it, to expose it. But it is our duty. We may be small in number, doesn't bother about it. Whether we are microscopic minority or majority, it's not a question of majority versus minority. It's a question of right versus wrong. This is very important. That is why I wish the conference to pass very constructive resolutions towards that end, to create a new society which stands for real secularism. And our leader Periyar was very rightly pointed out, they want to misinterpret secularism. Secular, the word secular, dictionary meaning, nothing to do with religion. Away from religion is the meaning of the word secular. Now they say equal treatment to all religion. This is how they distort. And Periyar asked one question. What is the meaning of virgin? Virgin means a person without any connection with the men. That is the definition of, treating all males in equal opportunity. This may be an example, may be somewhat disturbing, but we will have to explain it. That is why, my dear friends, it is high time. Not only the principles are important, but how far it was translated into practice. What we are facing in our daily life, how to change it. These kind of important things ought to be discussed, and let us pass resolutions to create a new society. So let there be secularism be in practice, not in principle alone. Thank you very much.
Please download Samaram multi-channel app and watch your favorite channels from your mobile. App available on Google Play Store and subscribe to the channels.